Hello, hello, hello. I am the Linux Mitch. Today, I'm going to take a second look at FreeBSD. Now, a week or so ago, I did a video on OpenBSD, and I wasn't able to install it. Now, so I don't want you to be confused between OpenBSD and FreeBSD. And as a matter of fact, I think there's about 5 or 6 different types of BSD. So like I said, about a week or so ago, I did a video on installing OpenBSD and I wasn't able to install it. It wasn't working. So I'm not doing a video on that today. Now, 2 months ago, I did an installation on FreeBSD. I installed it, I configured it to the way I like it, and in my conclusion, I kind of ended it on a negative note because I wasn't able to install a firewall. Now, I haven't been in the system for 2 months. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a second look at my FreeBSD installation. I'm going to update it. I'm going to update the apps. And I'm going to install the firewall and get the firewall working. So let's get to it. This is FreeBSD with the Cinnamon desktop. And I know what you're thinking. It looks the same as your Arch Linux. Well, I make all my distributions look the same, whether it's Arch Linux, Linux Mint, Pure Debian, FreeBSD. I always make my Cinnamon desktop, my awesome window manager, and my Qtile look the same. And as you can see, I have my weather app. It's 31 degrees here. In Toronto, Canada, it's 31 degrees. And with the humidity, it feels like 35 Celsius. And of course, as if you've been following my channel, you know that I love the weather app that comes with the Cinnamon desktop. And I have the air conditioner on there, so I don't know if you can hear that mild hum in the background. I don't know if the mic is picking it up. If it is, I apologize. And of course, I have Nemo. I have Firefox, which I'm not going to open because it hasn't been updated. Here we have LibreWolf installed, which is a hardened fork of Firefox. And of course, I have Firefox, and I have all my, I have Rhythmbox, MPV player, Celluloid, which is a video player. In Office, I have the full LibreOffice suite, and so forth. And just in case you don't believe this is FreeBSD, let's open up Xterm. And I'm Mensch at FreeBSD. Now let's do a NeoFetch. NeoFetch. And as you can see, I'm on FreeBSD 13.2 release, part 1. I've been up for 11 minutes. My shell is Zesh. My terminal is Xterm. And my desktop environment is Cinnamon. Now I'm going to close that. And I'm going to log out. Let's log out. And I'm at my display manager, LightDM. And again, you're probably thinking it looks the same as your Arch. I know. And I'm going to click on Awesome. And I'm going to type in my password. And now we're in the awesome window manager. And I know you're thinking, looks the same as your Arch Linux installation. And it does, eh? I'm going to click on Xterm. And again, let's do a NeoFetch. And you can see I'm in FreeBSD with the awesome window manager. And let's clear the screen. Let's do HTOP. And I'm running a little bit high for the awesome window manager. running at 484 megabytes of RAM. I gave this FreeBSD virtual machine 4 processors, 4 gigs of RAM, and automatically it was given a 2 gig swap drive. I didn't do that. The installer did that. Now, the thing is that, well, let's go back into the terminal. The thing is that, let's type in last. So I made this virtual machine on Saturday, July 1st, and I posted my video on Sunday, July 2nd. And let's clear the screen again. Let's do last reboot. So, like I said, I made this machine and I did this installation on July 1st, and then I released a video on Sunday, July 2nd. So you can see all the times I've been in here. July 1st. I booted back into it on Monday, July 3rd. And then I didn't boot back into it again until July 21st. Was the next time I booted into it. And then the next time I booted into it was this morning. Tuesday, September the 5th at 7:30 in the morning, I booted into it before I went to work, to my day job. So this is the thing, is that FreeBSD or any BSD, I have no experience at all with the BSDs. I never used the BSDs before. I never installed them. I never lived in them. Now this FreeBSD, like I said, I installed it on July 1st and did a video about installing it and configuring it. So I installed it and configured it to the way I like it to make it look like my Arch Linux installs. And I did that all on camera, and I released a video on July 2nd. And then I went into it once 3 weeks later, and then I didn't go into it again till this morning before I went to work. So like I said, sorry for repeating myself, but the point I'm trying to make is that I have no experience with FreeBSD or any of the BSDs, and I don't know how to use them. And so what I'm going to do is, first thing I want to do is update it, because this system hasn't been updated for 2 months. So we're going to have to update it, and for sure there's going to be a kernel update, which means I'm going to have to reboot it. Then I want to update the apps. Now, there's 2 different commands for updating the system and the apps. So with Arch Linux and Debian and many of the Linux distributions, there's only one command you type in to do an update, and it updates the system, the kernel, and any of the apps that need to be updated. But in FreeBSD, there's 2 things you do for updating. Number 1, you update the system, and then number 2, there's a different command to type in to update your applications. So I'm going to update the system, do a reboot because I know there's going to be a kernel update. Then I'm going to update the apps, and then I'm going to see if I can get this firewall going. And then I'm going to conclude the video. So let's get to it. So what I'm going to do is clear the screen. And I'm going to type in this command, FreeBSD -update fetch. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm getting an error message. I wonder if it's because I didn't do sudo. Oh, it's asking for my password. Put my password in. Oh, I guess I should have known. Okay, so it's fetching an update for this, fetching 23 patches. So basically, this type of an update that I'm doing right now is for the system and its security. But it's updating, see, I can see it's updating the SSH as well. And now it's come to a pause. I don't know why. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if I'm supposed to hit enter. Oh, I'm at the end. Okay. So I'm going to hit Q to get out of here. And now I'm out. So now I'm going to type in FreeBSD FreeBSD dash update. I hope it doesn't look like I'm reading, because I am. Because I really don't know how to use BSD. I mean, I did install it 2 months ago, and I did configure it to the way I like it with my Zesh configuration, Cinnamon, Awesome Window Manager, and my GitLab repository. But now I haven't used it for 2 months. So I really don't know how to use it, and I really don't know what I'm doing. But watch my video anyways. So I'm going to type in update. Nope, sorry. I'm going to type in install. And let's see what happens. FreeBSD-update install. Oh, I forgot to do sudo. There we go. And it's installing the updates. And if this is going to take long, I might pause the video. Let's just see how long this is going to take. Okay, you know what? I'm going to pause the video and come back. Oh, you know what? That didn't take long at all. Okay. Now, that only took a couple of seconds. I wonder if it really did the update. Now, there's a command that you can type in here to see whether or not you need to do a reboot or whether there was a kernel update. So I'm going to type in that command. I guess I should do sudo FreeBSD dash version space K. Okay, it's telling the release. And now let's type in uname R. Okay, so what the documentation is saying, and I'm not taking you there right now, but, and by the way, FreeBSD has fantastic documentation on their website. I think it's just as good as the Arch Linux wiki, and it might even be better than the Arch Linux wiki. Their documentation is fantastic. So just go to the FreeBSD website and click on documentation. They have pages and pages and chapters of stuff, and it gives you instructions on how to use the system and do things. It's really good. So the instructions say when you do these two commands, if this first line is different than the second line, then you need to do a reboot, because the update put in release 2 or 13.2 release P2, and my installation is P1. So if these things are the same, you don't have to reboot after doing an update, but if they're different, you do. So that's kind of nice. So let's reboot. And I think I have to do a sudo to reboot in the system. And now it's rebooting. And if this takes long, I'm going to pause the video. And I don't think it's going to take too long. Let's hit enter. And it's booting into the new the update was really fast. Considering I went 2 months without updating the system, I think the update was really fast. Oh, and there we are. That's amazing. And this booting up was fast too. And we're at the login manager. Let's just go into Awesome. I'm not going to go into the Cinnamon desktop. Let's put my password in. And now we're in the Awesome window manager. So let's open up a terminal. And let's do those commands again. So let's type in sudo FreeBSD dash version space dash K. Let's hit enter. Put my password in. And now we're on 13.2 release P2. Now let's do uname R. And voila. That was really nice. I like that. You know, I'm really impressed because I did this installation on July 1st. I haven't done an update. What's today? September the 5th. Oh, yeah, I don't have to look at my calendar. It's right here. We're in September the 5th, so it's just a few days over 2 months since I've done an update. And that update was fast. And I know I said I was pausing the video during the update, but I only paused the video for like 3 seconds because I paused the video and boom, it was done. Okay, so now our apps aren't updated. So let's see if that goes just as easy. So to update the apps, because I know for sure my web browsers need to be updated. For sure Firefox and LibreWolf, which is a hardened fork of Firefox, those two web browsers for sure need to be updated because Firefox gets updated probably every 2 weeks, sometimes once a week, depending on how many security patches they need to put into it. So for sure, those two web browsers need to be updated, and there's probably a lot more apps. And hopefully that goes just as smooth as upgrading the system did. So let's type in this command, sudo pkg space upgrade. Now I hope that's right. And looks like it is. It's processing entries. And okay, let's go. Oh, you know what? I have to type in a Y. Let's try that again. Do I actually have to type in the Y? Yes, I do. How about that? Okay, so I'm going to leave this roll. Oh, I got to type in the Y again. Okay. Oh, it's updating LibreWolf. Sorry. So I have the full LibreOffice suite in here, and I can see it's updating LibreOffice. It's updating my Papyrus icon theme, and it's updating a lot of different apps. And if this ends up taking a long time, it's updating my Power Manager, the XFCE4 Power Manager, because I installed that. So when it's updating my Zesh, it's updating Celluloid, Sudo is being updated, Cinnamon's being updated, the Cinnamon desktop, Vim is being updated. I think I'm just going to leave this rolling. So of course, when I did this installation back on July 1st, I installed all my favorite apps. I installed Cinnamon, I installed Awesome Window Manager, I installed Zesh, I installed Xterm, I installed all my favorite apps, and I configured them to the way I like them, to the way I do all my installations. Anyways, this is taking a little bit longer than I thought, so I'm going to pause the video. I don't want this video to be too long, and I'm going to come back. So don't go away. Okay, so it finished. Now that took about 10 minutes, so I'm glad I paused the video. Now you might think, well, 10 minutes is long to do an update. Well, maybe not, because I haven't updated it in 2 months, and there was 204 packages to be updated. So, hey, 204 packages to be updated. It didn't take any longer than it would have for Linux Mint or for Pure Debian if I went 2 months without updating. And also, I think Arch would have been faster, but hey, it's hard to beat Arch. But anyways, so let's take a look at some of the packages and see if they're updated. So what I'm going to do is clear the screen. So let's open up Firefox. Now the latest version of Firefox in Arch Linux is 1.17. Let's just click on that now. And as I can see, I never configured this Firefox to the way I like it. Normally when I do an installation, I always go into Firefox and harden everything and make the settings the way I like it. I didn't do that with this 2 months ago when I did my installation. That's why you see all this junk up here. But let's go up to, let's just do it this way. Let's bring in the menu bar. Let's go to help. Let's go about Firefox. And it's 117. So they've got the latest version of Firefox now that's been updated. Let's close it. And let's see if LibreWolf opens up. So in case you don't know, LibreWolf is a hardened fork of Firefox. And let's log out. I'm going to quit. We're going to go into Cinnamon because Cinnamon was updated too. So let's put my password in and let's go into Cinnamon. It's just taking a moment to load up, and now we're in the Cinnamon desktop. So that's working. Weather app's working, everything's working. So now I'm going to log back out. I'm going to go back into Awesome. Let's type my password in. And of course, I'm not going to check all the apps to make sure they're working. Or make sure that they were truly updated. I'm not going to do that. So now let's see if I can get the Firewall working. I'm going to open up LibreWolf and then type in FreeBSD. And let's go to the web page. So this is the FreeBSD website. And let's type in Firewall. Here we are. And you know what? I'm going to hide my face for a bit. So when I did my first video on FreeBSD 2 months ago, I was impressed, but in the conclusion, I gave it a 5 out of 10 because it doesn't have uncomplicated firewall, UFW, which is available in every Linux distribution, and it's the firewall that I always use. And they don't have it. But they have 3 firewalls, 3 different types of firewalls that come already installed in FreeBSD, but you have to turn them on and configure them yourself. And you have to learn how to use them. And it's a little bit more complicated than the uncomplicated firewall that you can install in all Linux distributions. So I was a bit ticked off about that. So in my conclusion of my FreeBSD video 2 months ago, I said it was a good distribution, but I think I gave it a 5 or a 6 out of 10. So, and I didn't install the firewall. Or it's not install. I didn't set up the firewall. This is the documentation page for their firewalls, and FreeBSD comes with 3 firewalls. It comes with PF, IPFW, and IPF filter. 3 different types of firewalls, and if you scan down on this page, it's going to tell you how to use them and how to set them up. But they're already installed, but you have to set them up to start working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this first one, PFW. Whoops. I'm going to take this first one, PFW, and I'm going to set it up in a simple format to deny all incoming and allow outgoing. Now that would be the default setting for uncomplicated firewall in your Linux distributions. You know, when you go into the GUI in your Linux distribution, in Linux Mint, MX Linux, and you open up the GUI, uncomplicated firewall in the GUI, and you toggle it on, that's what it does. It denies all incoming and allows all outgoing. And if you install my uncomplicated firewall script from a GitLab repository, it sets it up like that automatically too, to deny incoming and allow outgoing. Now, of course, this type of configuration is not good if you want to do SSH. You have to configure it differently. And in my GitLab repository for my Arch Linux install, I do have a way to configure the firewall to allow SSH in, but I'm not going to do that here. This is a virtual machine of FreeBSD, and I'm not going to be doing SSH. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go really simple. I'm going to keep it simple. KISS, KISS. Keep it simple. Stupid. So anyways, I'm going to keep it simple because I really don't know how to use it. So, and like I said, I'm not going to be using this for SSH. So all I'm going to do is set up this first firewall, PFW. It's already installed. I'm going to set it up to deny all incoming and allow outgoing. So let's see if I can do this. So what we have to do is we have to go into etc and make a file pf.conf, and I'm going to type in block in all, pass out all, keep state. So let's go into another workspace and let's open up a terminal. Let's go into xterm. And let's just go into etc. Let's see what's in there. Whoa. So let's go back here. So we're looking for pf.conf. I don't know if it's there and it's empty, or if it's there and it has commented things out, or if I have to make the file. So let's see if we can find pf.conf. So here's the P's, and it's not there. I have to make the file. So I have pf.os, but not pf.conf. Okay, so let's make the file. Vim pf.conf. And we're in it. And just let's go back. Whoops. Let's just see if we can copy these in. Let's copy. And let's insert. There we are. And now I'm going to save the file. Oh, I didn't go in there with sudo. Okay. Let's get out of there. Let's sudo into there. Put my password in. And let's insert. Let's save it. And it's saved. Now I'm going to clear the screen. And I'm going to go back. So now we have to add this line so that the firewall starts when we reboot. I think that's what it means. So I'm going to do sudo. And I'm going to insert that command. Okay. Well, now to start the service, so this last command I did, that was a command to enable the firewall to start when I reboot or I turn on the system. Now this command is going to start it. So I'm going to go back to my terminal and I'm going to do sudo. Whoops. I'm going to type in sudo, insert. I'm going to answer no. And now PF has started. So that's FreeBSD. That is FreeBSD. I took my second look at FreeBSD after installing it 2 months ago and not using it. So in this video, I updated all the security patches and the main program. I updated all my apps. And I got the firewall going. So I am really impressed with this FreeBSD. I think it's really good. And I encourage you to give it a try. And I'm sorry I gave it a low grade last time, but I do think it is a really good system, and I like it a lot. If you learned something today, and if you enjoyed the video, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. I am the Linux Mensch. Bye-bye.